If you've ever been in charge of buying something big for your company, you know it feels like you're drowning in an alphabet soup of acronyms. RFI, RFP, RFQ. It's a lot to keep track of. Well, today we're going to clear all that up. We're zeroing in on the most critical first step for any major project, the RFI, the request for information.
So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with a business problem I'm sure you've faced. Then we'll introduce the RFI as your secret weapon. After that, we'll sort out the differences between the RFI and its cousins, the RFP and RFQ. We'll talk about the real strategic power behind an RFI. And then we'll wrap up with a super simple guide to help you know exactly when to use it. By the end of this, you'll get why mastering this one document can be a total game changer.
All right, let's set the scene with something pretty much every business goes through. Things are going well, you're growing, but you've hit a wall. To break through, you need something new. A new piece of tech, a new service, a new partner. The question is, where on earth do you even start looking?
Maybe you need a new CRM platform, or you're looking to completely rebuild your website. You go online and you're just hit with this tidal wave of vendors, and they all claim they're the best, right? You've got a clear problem you need to solve, but you're not even sure what the ideal solution is supposed to look like. It's that classic problem of not knowing what you don't know.
Now, when you're in that spot, it is so tempting to just start asking for prices and detailed plans. But honestly, that's putting the cart before the horse. Your first and best move is to just gather some intel. And that's where the RFI comes in.
The most important thing to get about a request for information is that you are not committing to buy anything. Not at all. Think of it as your official market research phase. You're basically sending a signal out to the industry saying, hey, here's a challenge we're facing, what's out there, what's possible. It's all about exploration, completely no strings attached.
An RFI is like casting a really wide but very smart net. It lets you check out a market you're not familiar with and see who the real innovators are. As you get responses back, you'll get a feel for what different suppliers can actually do, and that, in turn, helps you figure out what you truly need. You might even find out about solutions you never would have thought of. And the best part? You're building a list of qualified suppliers for when you're ready to take the next step.
So the RFI is a powerful tool, but it doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's part of a whole family of documents that, let's be honest, get mixed up all the time. So let's finally clear up the confusion between an RFI, an RFP, and an RFQ.
Okay, let's really nail this down. The RFI is for information. You use it when you're in research and discovery mode. Next up is the RFP, the request for proposal. This is for when you need a solution. Your problem is complex, and you need vendors to come to you with a detailed plan. And finally, you have the RFQ, the request for quotation. This one is all about price. You use this when you know exactly what you want, down to the last detail, and you're just shopping for the best cost. See the flow? First you learn, then you find a solution, then you worry about the price. So why do we keep saying this first step is so vital? Because doing an RFI right isn't just checking a box. It is a genuinely powerful strategic move that really sets the entire project up for success.
And you can see how all these benefits are connected, right? When you take the time to gather good information up front, you instantly become a smarter buyer. That reduces your risk of picking the wrong vendor or the wrong solution. You find new, innovative ideas you wouldn't have known about, which means the quality of your final project is just better. And all of that saves you so much time and money down the road because you're not making costly mistakes you have to fix later.
All right, this all sounds great. But how do you know for sure if an RFI is what you need for your project right now? Let's walk through a really simple little decision-making guide. It really just boils down to 3 quick questions. First, ask yourself, are my requirements still a little fuzzy, or are they still changing? If the answer is yes, you need an RFI. Second, is my main goal here just to research the market and see what's out there? If yes, that's an RFI. And third, am I more focused on what suppliers can do instead of what they cost? If that's a yes, then again, you're looking at an RFI. If you're answering no to these, you're probably ready for an RFP or an RFQ. At the end of the day, any big project, whether it's launching a website or implementing new software, it's a process, it's a journey. And when you master tools like the RFI, you're not just buying a product, you're building a strategy. You're starting conversations with potential partners in a smart, informed way that leads to way better relationships and, more importantly, much better results for your business.
So I'll leave you with this one last thought to chew on. The success of almost any project hinges on the quality of the questions you ask at the very, very beginning. A request for information, it isn't just about getting answers. It's about figuring out what the right questions are in the first place. It makes sure your project starts with intelligence, not with a guess.